Today we have Leo from Aquapax. Hands down, you are the youngest business owner that we've had the pleasure of hosting on the podcast today. Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so the real basic way I tell people is we provide drinking water solutions for mining and remote areas, really. So we sell water to the desert as well.
Yep.
One way you could say as well is mining clients.
Yep.
So we got all the, Rio, BHP, FMG, Roy Hill, and then, like your Monadelphous are quite a good customer of ours. They're a very good customer.
Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Today we have Leo from Aquapax. Leo, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
No, thank you, Josh, for having me on.
Not a problem,
It's
mate.
a pleasure.
Hands down, you are the youngest business owner that we've had the pleasure of hosting on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So, as you know, life in the times, mate, and there's not too much life, 20 years old, but where'd you start, mate? And tell me about this journey to business.
Yeah, so as we were saying before, I'm only 20, so there's not a whole lot to say, but I guess I was born in Perth, but I grew up on a wheat and sheep farm, just 2 hours north of Perth, sorry. And that was a family farm, so that was awesome. I got to grow up in the back of my grandfather's ute every day, just going around, sitting in the back of tractors for hours with my father. And yeah, I've still got a massive passion for farming. It's awesome. And then when I was about 7, we shifted up to Broome, so up in the Kimberley.
Yeah, cool.
And I lived in Broome for about 11 years. So we had a airline catering facility business up there, so doing all the food and drinks. I went on Qantas and Virgin and stuff like that.
Wow.
So completely...
What sort of food?
Well, in the beginning, we could sort of choose our own foods we wanted to put on it. So like when mango season was on, we'd put on, like mango ice cream, and then you just do your normal sandwiches, spaghetti, bolognese and whatever it was. But as it went on, Qantas started like having more say in what meals you could put on, and they were trying to cut costs and stuff like that. But when COVID hit in 2020, that business shut just in one day pretty much. We fully shut down because of the new regulations that came in.
Yep.
So we're up there for about 11 years, and I just want to say living in Broome was awesome. It was, like just going to the beach every day. Me and our younger brother had a beach buggy, and we had these little backtracks that we could just send down to the beach after school and just get up to mischief down there, which was awesome. And
what about the fishing, mate? Tell me any awesome fishing stories?
Well,
what about some big salties?
Yeah, so I'm not a big fisherman. I had mates up there that I'd go spear fishing with and stuff like that. But
how long can you hold your breath for?
Oh, not too long. I don't know. I can get down and then I'm back up straight away.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, not too long. But I was really into my wakeboarding. That's what we used to do. Was we had the beach buggy, and we got this massive rope, like about 50 metre long rope, and we would tie that to the back of the buggy and then just get on a surfboard and hop in the water and drive next to the...
Wake skate.
Yeah, have you been to Cable Beach before?
Nah, I haven't, mate.
The beach goes for kilometres, like you can just drive for kilometres, so you pretty much, skateboard on the water for kilometres, and we would do that all the time. And yeah, about salt crocodiles, I remember one time we were doing that exactly, and the lifeguard had the drone up and they were flying over the top of us, and she comes over later and says, when you were doing that, there was like a 3 metre salt crocodile not far from you and stuff like that. So just funny stories. But there's if you got the creeks and that, you do see a lot of saltwater crocodiles and stuff like that. So yeah, that Broome was awesome. And then also I went to, even though most of the time I was living in Broome, I actually went to boarding school in Perth.
Okay. What school?
Aquinas.
Okay.
So at the age of 12, I got sent down to boarding school, and I was at a completely new place by myself.
How'd you go with that as a young fella going off to boarding school? You live in the dream up north, and then suddenly you're away from the family.
Yeah, so
building new friends, building relationships.
It's a good question. I actually wasn't very nervous for it, funny enough. I was just excited. And it was probably, boarding school was the best experience I've really had so far, because firstly you learn a big lesson about brotherhood and just how important your mates are to you, especially when you're in a boarding house. And my friends that I've made in boarding school were like, they're genuinely like brothers to me now, which is very grateful for that. And then obviously there's a part. I'm 12 years old. My parents are 2,000 kilometers away. That comes into play a bit, but I didn't really get too homesick. I remember there was one time where it was 5 weeks into year 7 and we had a year 7 camp and I actually got kicked out of the camp.
What for, mate? Being a naughty bugger, what'd you do?
Just little kid from Broome running amok. So
yeah, okay.
Got kicked out of the camp and I got sent back to school. And I was the only year 7 at school because everyone was away at camp. And I remember just waking up and I was a bit homesick that time. But besides that, it was just constantly having fun with my mates. So I was in boarding school all the way through till just the last couple terms of year 12 when we moved to Perth. I was a day student. So, yeah.
Oh, you finished high school?
Yeah.
Oh, nice work.
So I did finish high school, so all the way to the end. I didn't do ATAR or anything like that. Didn't really take the whole education side of school too seriously. I guess that's the word. But I definitely took, you get access to a very good network going to Aquinas, and I definitely took advantage of that and just
networking.
Yeah, I guess networking, you do get access to a good network going to those schools, and you make good mates and good relationships come from that.
Yep.
So yeah, that was awesome.
And so out of high school, what'd you do? What was the decision?
Well, I graduated 2022, so it's 2025 now.
Yep.
So going on about 3 years actually. I think that's right, if my math's right.
Yeah, mate, that's pretty simple maths, pretty quick maths.
25 minus 22 is 3. So when I first left school, I actually went straight working cleaning those big super yachts you see around Perth.
Right.
I had lined up a job doing that. I only did that for a few weeks, just up until harvest, because I was so passionate about farming. I just wanted to get back out on the farm and do that. So once it was harvest time, I went back to the family farm actually with my cousin, and we did harvest together that year. That was awesome. And then once harvest finished, it's like about January, and I think I just took I honestly was a little bit on a loose end, because when you're at school, everyone's saying uni or apprenticeship, and you don't really know of any other options. But I've always had an interest in either farming or making or earning money in a way that's not a job or a university degree.
A little entrepreneurial zest.
I grew up in that environment, so it was always in my mind and stuff like that. So I then actually I made a friend at Levers, and he said to me one day, "Oh, do you want to come up to Dirk Hartog Island for a couple months and work on Dirk Hartog?" I didn't even know what Dirk Hartog was, but I just didn't have any other plans. So I thought, this is a sign. I should just take it and do it.
Yep.
So I just said, yeah, let's go.
What'd you do there?
Yeah, so have you been to Dirk Hartog?
Nah.
Do you know
I've driven past it, yeah.
Yeah.
On the coast along the, up to Denham, Monkey Mile. Yeah.
Denham's like the next closest town, so I guess. And what did I do? Well, pretty much just like...
Is it the most western point?
Yeah, it's the most western point of WA. So you got State Point, which is still on the main land, and that's where you catch the barge to Dirk Hartog from there.
That's right, yeah.
So we were pretty much just like helping out with daily jobs on the island, let's say. So we, from anything from building these eco tents to just cleaning the bathrooms and picking weeds and making the area look nice. They would have guests and tours. We'd help do the tours and stuff like that. It was actually pretty hard work at sometimes, like physical work and stuff like that, cleaning out sheds. But it was just, when do you get to go live on an island? It was awesome. So, what I loved most about it was there's probably 6 or so people living on the island full time. So there's not many of you, and you don't have much phone reception as well. Yep. So, I remember one time, the whole time we're up there, we only got 1 or 2 days off to actually explore the island, a day off work, I guess you'd call it. And me and my mate just said, let's go on a mission. We'll go around the whole island and dive at different spots and
awesome.
And try. We didn't take any food because if you know Dirk Hartog Island, it's pretty hard not to catch fish on it. So we're so confident that we'll catch a fish. Funnily enough, we didn't catch anything.
Starved through the night?
Yes, spent like 6 hours in the water spearfishing and yeah, just no luck. I don't know, maybe fishing's not my thing, but yeah, so we're diving around and didn't catch anything. There's this funny video of us where sitting on the top of this sand dune, we got no food, and yeah, it was just a funny story and sleeping that night in the swag, starving, but it's yeah, just a good story to laugh about now.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, we also like it was good just to get off your phone for a cup. You're still on it, obviously, the whole time you're up there, but you're not really as connected because of the limited reception and stuff like that. So that was awesome. And it's very untouched as well. It's so many sharks as well. Like
Really saw heaps?
yeah, you just say they're just normal to see everywhere up there. It's
What, like tigers?
tigers, like I think they're called reef shark.
Yeah, white tip.
Yeah,
black
white
tip.
tip, all that stuff. Like especially when they'll be having the baby sharks, they'd be in the bays and all the shallow water just everywhere. So
Yeah, when I was up in when I went up to Exmouth, there was heaps of them up there.
yeah,
And also, what's the other place? I can't remember.
yeah, Exmouth is awesome though.
Yeah.
I love Exmouth. So yeah, and then after the couple months in Dirk Hartog, I went back farming. So it was seeding time. I was working on a farm in Williams, and then I ended up on a farm in Cunderton, which is a couple hours east of Perth.
Yep.
There's actually a friend of mine from school's farm, and finished off seeding there, and I actually stayed on there full time until the end of harvest, and then pretty well until the end of this. It was about an 18th month period, and then I had a lot of people telling me, "Oh, you know, you can't just keep working on farms. You need to get a apprenticeship or a uni degree." And I really didn't want to do that, but I didn't know what business to start or how to actually get involved in business.
Was that what led you to Aquapax?
Yeah, so I was in that situation where I didn't know. I was just watching and reading books on business all the time and like trying little different things online. I don't know if you're much on the social media and that, but you always see people, you know, telling you to get started in this business today and do that and do this, and I just didn't know where to start. And you know, we lost the business in Broome, but Dad, he still had the properties we were lucky to make some investments in the city while the business was going good. So we had that to fall back onto, but there was no real spot for me to go and help with that. No job or anything like that in the family sort of stuff. I actually tried a plumbing apprenticeship for a while, and nothing against the trade or anything, but I just knew that the whole time I was doing it, it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I felt like I was just doing it because I sort of cracked to the pressure of everyone around me telling me you either do a uni degree or an apprenticeship and then you can work it out after that. And I just couldn't get my head around like, why would I do this for 4 years and then go and start what I really want to do? And then especially like when you're in those jobs, the people you're surrounded with a lot of the time aren't in that same mindset that you sort of have.
Yep.
So I thought, mate, it's sort of a dead end job or waste of 4 years. So Dad was we're talking about, you know, getting into a new sort of company and things like that. And I don't know what it was, but we just come across Aquapax. It wasn't actually on the market or anything like that. And we're like, you know, Dad's sort of getting older and he's like, well, is this something you'd want to do? And, you know, this is for the future. And thought it was like perfect timing, you know, sort of what I've always been looking for. And all right, let's do it.
Beautiful.
So I left the apprenticeship and just dived into this head on, I guess, and grabbed it with both hands. And I started off just I thought it's important, you know, the business is already somewhat quite like established. So I thought, well, I need to learn everything about the business first. So I spent the first few months really just starting from the bottom of the warehouse, actually just working on the floor, learning how everything's made, learning all that starter part of the business. And then I started to work, you know, alongside the manager and stuff like that to learn. I just wanted to learn everything about the business before I started doing, you know, trying to actually actively grow the business and do the more business development role of stuff.
Yep.
And then so once I felt like I had my head around that, I actually, you know, I thought I need to learn from people that are successful in business already, because I know nothing at 19. I have no real clue. I haven't learned anything yet. So I actually came across some mentor just organically who's been quite successful in business himself, and I work with him. He's been very helpful in mentoring me as well. Same with my dad, he's very helpful as well. And now, so it's been about 14 months now in Aquapax, and it's like things have just...
Enjoying it?
I love it. It's the main thing is like you look back even over just a span of 2 months and see how much you've learned and grown in 2 months when you're in business, because every day you're constantly looking at how to improve and what you did that day, what could you do better tomorrow. So I love looking, like I'll probably watch this podcast in 6 months' time and go, I didn't know a thing back then, and you're constantly getting better every day.
Growth.
Yeah,
that's important.
It's a lot of it's just personal development, I guess, business and stuff like that. So yeah.
Mate, so for those who don't know anything about Aquapax, give us a rundown.
Yeah, so the real basic way I tell people is we provide drinking water solutions for mining and remote areas, really. So yeah, that's a real basic way to put it. But to go more in depth, we have a range of products. We main thing is going away from single-use plastic bottles. As you know, in Australia, especially WA, a lot of our workforce and is in remote areas and mining, funny enough. So in the desert, I guess I also tell people is we sell water to the desert as well. Yep. One way you could say as well. But we really feel that niche of providing solutions for those more larger scale sites and stuff where plastic bottles can't really cut it, and it's just
600 ml bottles just go real quick.
Yeah.
On a 50-degree day, you need 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
One back to back.
Yeah.
And then that plastic just goes straight in the bin.
Yeah, or they take a sip and just leave it laying around.
Seen heaps of those on a shutdown.
Yeah.
You know? Industries you've touched on, industries and customers. Can you go into some of your existing customers?
Yeah, so we do a lot. 95%, I'd say, of our customer is mining clients.
Yep.
So we got all the, Rio, BHP, FMG, Roy Hill, and then, like your Monadelphous are quite a good customer of ours. They're a very good customer. We got even like Meta Mayor, they're a customer of ours. They distribute the 5-litre cask out to all the remote areas and
awesome.
And remote communities. It's quite grateful to have a lengthy list of good customers in the mining industry. Yeah,
that's awesome, mate. So standing out in the market, what does Aquapax do to set themselves apart from other competition?
Yeah, so we really try to fill the niche of mining in remote areas, because if you were to compete with your normal bottled, like the main difference between us and a bottled water is the packaging, obviously. We don't actually sell any 600 ml bottles or anything. It's more large scale, more bulky sort of options.
So what size they start in?
So we have a range. So we got the 1,000-litre pods, which is our main product. And then we got the 5-litre water cask, and then we could make modified drinking fountains, which draw straight from the pods.
Awesome.
And then,
how do you keep that cool?
Cool. They have a refrigeration unit inside them.
Okay.
And then what we modify about it is they have an inbuilt pump, and then it's a 20 ml ball valve at the bottom of the pods. And we just we modify. So you'd get your normal drinking fountain that you see, and we change it to make it more mine spec and change the plumbing around, obviously, because it's not going into mains water and main sewers and stuff like that. And then we put an inbuilt pump inside of it, so that just needs 240-volt power, and it can draw straight from the pod. It can be like imagine you got a crew of 40, 20 people on a mine site, and they're out somewhere remote. They would just use one of these as like their portable drinking water setup, and they can take it wherever they go, or they'll use it put it in their workshops or in their crib rooms.
So what happens with a 1,000-litre bulky of water? Do you send the bulky back, or is it a one-time use?
Nah, so it's all single use. So once it's empty, it's actually, a lot of people think they're made out of plastic. It's all made out of cardboard.
Oh, wow.
So it's all sustainable packaging. It's a very heavy duty cardboard. And then once you're finished with it, you simply just, take it is wrapped in UV rated plastic. Obviously, it has to be weatherproof and stuff like that up on the mines. So once it's empty, you rip the cut the plastic wrapping off, and then cut the straps off. Then it flat packs to about probably that thick, and then
Awesome.
they just dispose of it. We don't want them sending it back because, the whole decarbonisation, they don't want to be trucking stuff back all the time. So it's less logistics, and once they're done, it's quite simple. It's just flat pack it and dispose of it. So
That's
it's just,
awesome, mate. Sustainability.
yeah, the thing I love about it is it's not that complex. It's very simple and easy to use, which is...
That's what you want in the mining industry, eh?
Yeah, especially when, you got such other complex stuff going on. Drinking water shouldn't be something they've got to think about too much.
No. So hit me with some mining industry benefits. That the clients have come back and said, hey, listen, we've changed to your product, and these are the reasons why.
One that's happened recently is I had a truck driver come pick up some pods for another customer. He came into my yard and he said, I was up on this other site the other day, and they were using 600 ml bottles for everything because they couldn't drink the water where their site was. They could shower in it, but they couldn't drink it. So the chef was literally using it for everything, to filling up the urn with 600 ml bottles every day and stuff like that. And he said, yeah, they're a bit stuck then. Now that he's seen our stuff, he goes, gave me his phone number anyways. I called him up and I said, yeah, we got a good solution for you. And now they've completely gone away from using all plastic bottles on site, and it's just also the headache of constantly, can you imagine filling up an urn every day with water? So we've just set them up.
What they're doing, brushing their teeth with bottles of water in their dongers.
Yeah, like you're in Bali or something.
Wow, that's wild.
So yeah, that's a one benefit, just the solution we provided there. Another thing is, if they're storing water in tanks on mine sites, they have to constantly monitor those tanks, obviously, and treat the water so that, because they're then liable if anyone got sick from the water. So with the pods and the products we provide, it's no on-site treatment. So we're all HACCP approved and stuff like that. So all that headache of having to treat the water, just they don't have to worry about it anymore if they switch to using our systems. And then, so they're the main benefits.
Mate, let's go into those on-site pods, the 1,000-litre bulkies of water.
Yep.
So give me a rundown on how they work.
So it's very simple. It's like I was saying before, it's a octagon shape, cardboard outer layer, and then wrapped in plastic. Sits on a pallet, so it's portable, and then it's a big 1,000-litre bladder, by the way, inside of it. So the water isn't actually sealed by the cardboard. It's a big bladder inside, then a 20 ml ball valve at the end. And the beauty about them is they can be used in many ways. So like I was saying earlier, can be plumbed into one of our modified drinking fountains, or they could just have a pressure pump already on site, or we can provide them with one, and they can then plumb them into all their existing infrastructure they got there on site. And then we do modified sea containers.
I was just about to get into that.
Yeah. So they do the modified sea containers. So we got what I call a hydration station. So they can be in 10 and 20 foot containers. And what they are, it's pretty much this thing. If you've ever been up on a mine site, you've seen a crib room. You have your ice room where the ice machines and drinking fountains are, where you go to fill up your bottles every day and get your ice for the day. They'll just be like one of those, but there'll be a partition wall, and then behind that partition wall is where the pods are stored. So you can either have 2,000 litres or 4,000 litre options. So if it's a 4,000 litre option, they'll be racking in there to stack 4 pods. And they plumb.
So they don't send the sea container away. They just, all they do is truck in more of these Aquapax pods.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. So once the container's built and on site, they just.
You guys supply the containers?
Yeah, we can supply and build the containers here in Perth.
Yep.
And then we sort of, each container's different to whoever the customer is, how many people they have on site and what do they want inside of it.
What's the largest container you've supplied a site?
There's one 40-foot pumping station out at the moment.
Awesome.
Which is awesome. And then there's we did 3 of the 20-footers for BHP and stuff like that. And there's another company that actually builds the containers, which builds a fair few for our Aquapax pods supply as well.
Awesome.
They're called Trade Sales.
Yep.
They're very good at what they do. And yeah, so the beauty about those is then instead of having to plumb into mains water all the time, it's just the pods. So it's a portable, and they can obviously another benefit that we didn't really think about is with the ice machines and the drinking fountains, with say it's not very good quality water where they are on site, the machines might, the lime scale will build up and they have to constantly maintain those ice machines or they just break.
Yep.
But because it's just pure spring water with the pod supply, it's the machines just last a lot longer, and well, we've never had any that need to be maintained yet. So
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah.
That's bloody good. Mate, the 5-litre cask.
Yep.
So where's that going? Is mine sites purchasing those? But as you said earlier, the remote communities are the ones
a
getting
lot
those.
of remote communities. The Railway 7 site.
Where's that?
Or Rio Tinto. That's one of the Rio Tinto sites.
Okay.
So a lot of the train drivers use them.
Oh, right.
So yeah, the train drivers seem to love them. It could be a retail market for us, but I'm just don't want to be in that whole, that fighting for a cheaper price in the retail stores, and more just B2B business structure. So a lot of the sites buy them off us directly, and then a few little retail outlets will also sell them on the mine sites as well. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
We even had a company that makes like makeup buy them because they need really good water. So
Really?
they were buying the cask to use the water from it to make makeup.
Here in WA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where are they based?
Can't remember exactly. Somewhere in Perth. So
Yeah, okay.
One of the suburbs.
Shit, that's all right.
Yeah.
Totally different to your everyday.
Yeah. It was very different actually, but
That's
cool.
all right. You get a little discount on some makeup.
Yeah.
For the missile.
Yeah.
Mate, business growth.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that since you've come on board.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was really focused on, just the sales side of it. So I was doing all the typical cold calling and things like that. But what I've found most effective, I don't know if it'll work for everyone, but personally is definitely just building relationships with your existing customers and then just anyone in particular, because especially in WA, it's such a small place. Your network is your net worth. You always hear people say that. The word of mouth spreads quickly. So if you have good relationships with your customers, you'd be surprised by leads you get in when they say, "Oh, Joe recommended us. They've used you before. We want to start using you guys as well." It's by then the sale's already done, and you can just focus on
providing great service,
great service,
great product, and great service.
Yeah, I literally every 2 months I schedule in my diary customer relationships, and I'll just go through and ring them all and try to catch up with them in person and just really focus on the relationship, not the sale, and it sort of just blossoms from there.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Love it. Your personal journey from obviously school to business, do you reckon it's been a surprise for you? Such a young age. It's awesome to see.
Surprise?
Mate, think about this. 2 years ago, you were bloody on Dirk Hartog Island.
Yeah.
And then look at you now.
See, I wish I could say it's a surprise, but I always sort of visioned myself doing something like this.
Okay.
But if you told me I'd be doing Aquapax as the business, I would be very surprised.
Yeah.
Because I just would have never pictured to be doing this.
And you're passionate about water?
Yeah, I'm just passionate about water and just business in general.
Yep.
It's you could put me in almost any business and I think I could become passionate about it.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That's good. That's really good. It's inspiring. I hope there's some young people out there that get to watch this and think, well, you know what? Leo's bloody going guns are blazing. And following his footsteps.
Yeah.
The last one I've got for you, mate, is vision and advice. So your vision for your business for the future and some advice to those young fellas or ladies out there that want to get in and look at starting their own business.
Yeah, so my vision is it vision for Aquapax or
Vision for Aquapax?
So my vision for Aquapax is to just keep growing in WA and just keep growing in WA. There's still a lot of sites that we aren't providing to and even potentially like markets that we might not be quite into yet. So keep growing here, and then the next step would be to go to the East Coast. Awesome. So I've already thought about it a bit, is, set up in somewhere like Queensland is where there's a bit similar to WA, I guess. Set up in Queensland and start building up. I'd like to start selling, to some sites over in the East Coast before setting up and investing in a facility over there. So start priming the market and then eventually set up over there as well. And then I guess once we've conquered Australia, the next move would be to go global with it, I guess, and
Awesome.
And see where that goes. And then advice. I mean, I didn't start Aquapax, so I can't really speak for someone who's starting a business. But if you do have the opportunity to get involved in business, and even if you are starting, I'd say definitely do it, and don't listen to. If you're getting told to go down the traditional routes, just know that you can contact me anytime, and I will be more than happy to talk to you. And
that's inspiring,
because it is a bit isolating at times when everyone. I think all my friends are from school either did uni or apprenticeship, and when you go to socialise with them, it's a bit hard to fit into the conversation and sing stuff like that because you're obviously doing such different things day to day. But yeah, definitely just go with it, with everything you got, and learn from your failures. Like, you got to constantly be developing every day. And yeah, well, I mean, I just think of it as we're on a floating rock. What's the point of a uni degree or apprenticeship? Just if it all went wrong, just start again. And nothing is. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah,
you know.
Like if it goes wrong, then we're just on a floating rock.
Yeah, that's a bloody great outlook, mate. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, look, Leo, thank you very much for coming in and taking the time to spend with me, mate. As I said, youngest bloke that we've had on the show so far, and very bloody inspiring. So thank you for your time.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's my first podcast as well. So
mate, you've done bloody well.
You've done bloody well.
Yeah, you've done bloody well.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning into another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Obviously, water on a mine site is bloody important, or water in the industry in general is very important. So if you do need water on a mine site, or you want to change from a 600ml standard bottle and look into something more sustainable, environmentally friendly, get in contact with Aquapax, and they're going to send you to CTL Australia. Thanks very much.